Do you remember when Prince Harry said this last week?
Beginning of 2020, I was scored the highest as far as risk was concerned, and then overnight I was reduced to the lowest.
Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah, that's when he was complaining after losing a court appeal demanding British taxpayers fund his security on visits to the UK. He lost the case, of course, because he and Meghan chose to step away from the royal family and embark on a life of celebrity in America. But as a reminder, he went whinging to the BBC about how he can only come to the UK if he's officially invited, which would give him a security team.
Where does this leave things moving forward? The ability of your children to see their grandfather?
Life is a precious thing, and I'm acutely aware of the fragility of that. I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited.
Prince Harry got caught red-handed alone in London, knocking on strangers' doors like a man with something to hide. No royal team, no security, no plan, just him and a so-called friend he couldn't seem to find. But here's where things spiral. Online whispers claim it wasn't just a friend. Some allege he was there to meet someone from Grindr. Wait, Grindr. Suddenly, people are asking, is Harry gay? Is Meghan just a front? Is this the royal cheating scandal no one saw coming? Of course, it's all unconfirmed, just rumors. Alleged, speculative, but the footage is real, the behavior is strange, and the questions, they're getting louder. So who was he really there to see?
Well, surprise, surprise, it turns out Prince Harry is a massive raging hypocrite. Take a look at this picture obtained by the Sun newspaper today. It's the Duke of Sussex himself, pictured on a doorbell camera, calling at houses in a London street as he looked for a friend's home. Harry, who has always insisted he feels unsafe without armed cops, tried his luck at 3 random houses before finally finding the right one. It gives a whole new meaning to the game knock down ginger, doesn't it? One resident said their housekeeper opened the door but didn't recognise Harry. And another source told The Sun 2 of the houses he knocked at are at complete opposite ends of the road, which is about half a mile long. It's a bit odd he didn't seem to have a clue which house he was aiming for. I don't think many people would just walk down a road knocking on doors, let alone if you don't feel safe. The Sun on Sunday previously revealed Harry also stayed at a friend's private home and, against security protocols, had a Deliveroo sent to the front door. So let's just recap for a second, shall we? Harry's been battling the Home Office in the courts demanding taxpayers, you and I, fund huge armed police teams for when he visits the UK. He's been complaining he simply can't bring his family to Britain without armed police and refuses to fund his own private security because he's entitled to British coppers. Yet at the same time, he's gallivanting up and down a busy London road, there he is again, that picture, knocking on random doors, all by himself, trying to find a friend's house without so much as an advisor in tow. And by the way, it was less than a year ago that Harry and Meghan were given a stately welcome to Colombia, one of the most dangerous countries on earth, in what critics called a faux royal tour. Time and time again, Harry and Meghan have both proved themselves less than reliable when it comes to the truth and left wanting in their constant pleas for sympathy. And tonight, I actually feel sorry for the King, King Charles, who, much like Meghan Markle's father Thomas, can't see his grandchildren because of Harry and Meghan's behaviour. If Harry feels unsafe enough to walk down a London street without security, banging on doors and getting food delivered via Deliveroo, surely he can arrange to bring his kids to see their unwell grandfather at one of the very many well-protected royal households across Britain. For me, Harry's making a deliberate decision to keep his children away from the King, and it's a big crying shame.
The footage was grainy, but the damage was crystal clear. Harry, once wrapped in royal protocol, now reduced to door-knocking in broad daylight. No royal escort, no staff, just a man in a hoodie trying 3 houses down a London street. Clearly, lost one housekeeper didn't recognize him. Another thought it was a prank. But the weirdest part? This wasn't just a mistake, it didn't make sense. Why would someone who sued the UK for not protecting him go wandering through the city without a single bodyguard? He claimed it was unsafe to even land in the UK, so why fly in, secretly, alone, and start knocking on doors? It's not just strange, it's suspicious.
22 bombshell, revenge, Meghan, Harry and the war between the Windsors. Tom, good evening, nice to see you. What do you make of this picture? I mean, I opened the Sun newspaper this morning, I just couldn't believe my eyes.
I think it just shows what a desperately sad man Harry is. And on the other hand, it does show that the litigation he brought against the Home Office was not really only about protection. He knew very well that he wasn't going to get it. I think it was all about trying to embarrass the king. It was about destroying the monarchy. It was about all the time me, and Meghan. And very much it was Harry wanting to say that he is somebody who can make huge problems for his family. And I'm not totally surprised by this. I'd heard he's pretty desperate. He was looking for company. I think that really is the issue. Harry feels completely isolated from Britain. And what's remarkable about that particular Sun exclusive is that he didn't have one of his bodyguards, who he pays a lot of money to go and find his friend. It just shows, really, that Harry's pretty incompetent above everything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. As I said in the introduction, it just lays bare the rank hypocrisy. What do you make, Tom, of these accusations that Harry is using his children as a weapon, I guess, against his family? He's basically been accused of saying, look, give me this protection, or Father, King Charles, you're not going to see the kids because I just simply can't bring them to the UK.
Of course, it's blackmail, emotional blackmail, and that's what he's been doing for some time. And unfortunately, it's something as well his mother did against Charles. The one point about all this is that Charles is not well, obviously. He's got cancer and being treated. And Harry is using that as a lever too. I think he did that interview because he was incandescent that in the end, his litigation failed. It cost him allegedly £1.5 million and got him nowhere. And he shouldn't have started in the first place. The point about Harry is he doesn't know what to do anymore. He's losing all sorts of relations in Britain. He hasn't got a purpose. He's embarrassed with his charities in Africa because not only the Centre charity, but also Africa Parks is now causing him great problems. Invictus is really only once every 2 years. He's losing any reason for being the prince. And I think he's now realizing, slowly but surely, he made a terrible mistake by leaving. And this is what it's all about now. Make me an offer so I don't cause you too much embarrassment in the future.
Prince Harry got caught, on camera alone, knocking on random doors in London. No guards, no schedule, no excuse. The official excuse: he was looking for a friend. But online, people are raising eyebrows, because that friend made up been something else. Some say it wasn't a casual visit, it was a private meet, gone awkward, Grindr, possibly royal safety. Apparently not a concern. Whatever it was, this isn't normal, and it might have just blown Harry's cover again.
Tom, just finally, do you think Harry's happy? Because Meghan, in the past couple of hours, she's posted some pictures of their date night last night, watching Beyonce in concert. We've got some pictures here. This is what Meghan put online a couple of hours ago. Harry there. I mean, he's smiling. He looks happy. He's wearing a pretty funky hat. This is a selfie. He looks slightly sweaty, as you'd expect at a concert, I guess. And Meghan also posted this picture of inside Harry's hat. So there's a British flag, there's a flag of the United States, there's the outline of the continent of Africa, there's Archie, Lily, and the words "my love," which I think is Meghan's nickname, right, Tom? Do you think he's happy, really, Harry?
I think they're just absolutely brilliant media manipulators. It is extraordinary how the moment one headline comes up, or like the one in the Sun, or the moment Kate does something with her children, the Montecito media machine gets whirring up, immediately gets the retaliation in. And this is really all just part of the battle. No, he's not happy. She's clearly very unhappy because she's had some terrible reviews for her programs, but all they can do all the time is fire pot shots. Yeah. And we on this side are enjoying the spectacle, because there's only one way that this can end in the end, and that's badly. But there's a lot more peaks and troughs and hijinks to go before we really see the climax of this astonishing saga.
Yeah, the Sussex psychodrama, as they call it. Tom Bower, thank you for your company. Really appreciate it. Let's get the thoughts of my panel now. The former Labour advisor Paul Richards, former Scotland Yard detective Peter Blexley, and the journalist and broadcaster Linda Jubilee. Good evening, panel. Have you had a nice day in the sun?
Lovely,
we have.
thanks.
Good. You all look quite spring-like.
Yeah, we're looking good.
Ready to go.
Linda, the Lib Dem. Paul, the Green.
If only.
Peter, the what are you?
You take a guess.
Peter,
Yeah.
you're just Blexley. You don't need a nickname. Linda, let's start with you. Ladies first. Do you feel sorry for Harry? I do. He looks thoroughly miserable in my book.
I don't know that I feel sorry for him. I'm becoming increasingly irritated by him. And although this kind of reveals something about my age, I was actually outside the hospital where the Lindo wing is when he was born. I was one of the reporters doorstepping the hospital. So I've reported it on him across a lifetime. And I'd be the first to say that when his mother died, it was his treatment, really, by the royal family was completely appalling. But he has to be able to put the past behind him, and he has never succeeded in being able to do that.
Right as the rumors took off, Meghan jumped in with the distraction storm. Beyoncé, concert selfies, glam shots, and that now infamous hat with the kids' names. It looked less like a couple having fun and more like a carefully timed upload spree. Critics called it classic misdirection, control the narrative, shift the attention. But the public wasn't fooled. One viewer joked, Harry's out searching for friends, and Meghan's over here staging a Vogue shoot with a baseball cap. Timing is everything, and this felt like a cleanup job.
Right now, the whole idea of making taxpayers or asking taxpayers to fork out for his security when he knows perfectly well that everyone is having a really, really hard time with the economy at the moment is unrealistic. I'd say more than unrealistic, it's almost narcissistic the way he behaves.
But Paul, his argument is that he, by law, should be entitled to this. That other people who aren't members of the royal family, who are private citizens, get this level of security through the Home Office. So he has accused the establishment of stitching him up because he chose to leave the royal family.
I mean, it reminds me a little bit of that scene in Love Actually where the Prime Minister is knocking on doors to try and find the girl of his dreams. But Hugh Grant in the movie had a copper with him, and this guy now is just wandering about London without any protection
I mean, that's insane,
at
isn't
all.
it? What's going through his head doing
Very,
that?
very dangerous thing. And, you know, not taking on the arguments about whether he should have security or not, that's been settled by the courts. But, you know, he did serve in Afghanistan, and there are people that would quite like to assassinate the son of a king, you know, who hate Britain. And to put himself in harm's way like that just seems daft. Where were the security detail? Did he dismiss them? What's going on?
What do you make of this picture on the screen, Peter Blexley, former Met Police detective? I mean, what would you say to Harry if you were his security advisor?
Well, I've supplied security to higher net worth individuals in the private sector. So I've protected people similar to him. And for him to be able to go walkabout down a London street without a security detail will have been his decision and his alone. And only he can make that decision if he is paying the security company. So I should strongly suspect that's what he's done. Now, when I read his book, Spare, I was absolutely astonished at the amount of drug taking he admitted to. And in my experience, when somebody stands down their security team, it's because they're going off to do something they don't want their security to know about.
I mean, I don't think we can say he was going to his mates to have a sex.
I hadn't quite finished, but, you know, maybe he was going round his mates for a pizza and a bit of something that he might have, you know, sourced from Colombia. Maybe he wasn't.
Oh, no.
Or maybe he wasn't.
Yikes.
But normally, people stand down their security team because they're going to do things they don't want their team to know about.
Well, obviously, Prince Harry's not here to defend himself on that. I mean, it's completely, I have to say, Peter, it's completely baseless. I mean, you are putting two...
And I said maybe. I said maybe. I didn't say was. I said maybe. Who knows? We don't know.
In his book, he talks about, was it magic mushrooms, smoking weed, and cocaine as well, of course.
The Sussex brand was supposed to be about empowerment, independence, rebranding royalty. Instead, it's a cocktail of weird scandals, failed podcasts, and now bizarre rumors involving apps and doorbells. Tom Bower, ever the blunt truth teller, didn't even need to say anything this time. The internet did the damage. Because when your private visit turns into tabloid gold, something clearly went sideways. And while Meghan posts polished photos, the empire continues to crack. Hollywood's backing off, Spotify pulled the plug. And now even Harry's motives are being questioned, not by critics, but by regular people who just don't believe him anymore.
What do you make, though, Linda, of these pictures that Meghan's put up tonight? Tom Bower just said there's a PR exercise if we can get them back up.
Oh,
they went to a
completely.
Beyonce concert, they're happy.
It's
They're in love with Linda,
completely-
look at them, they're having a great time on a date night.
It's all a charade.
Total.
It's a total grandstanding charade.
What do you think of his hat?
I actually quite like the hat, but nevertheless, I think the way they cavort around, they don't have any self-awareness at all about what people must think. They need to stop all of this, stop all the Netflix stuff, stop all the stuff that leans on all their connections and start thinking about how they might actually make a meaningful documentary and how they might actually, for example, amplify the Invictus Games or start a new charity or add to some good work.
Well, how are they going to make a living if they don't carry on with all this tripe that they keep churning out?
That's my
Don't
point.
you think the hat is a bit bonkers, though? What's it got, like writing and stuff on the inside?
It says Archie, Lily and My Love. My Love is the nickname for Meghan.
Who has that in a hat?
Paul, do you think Prince Harry, finally, before we move on, Prince Harry said that he's going to be asking Keir Starmer for help in this process to try to reform the security arrangements with the Home Office and so on?
I can't see it because of the reasons that have been discussed in law, but also just in terms of public opinion. I think he's made his own bed, he has to lie in it now.
Yeah, all right. I had viewers at home, I had made a private pledge never to do trans topics again, which I've stuck to, and B, not talk about Meghan or Harry. But this picture this morning, I woke up and I was astounded. The incompetence, the hypocrisy, I just had to do it. I had to cover it off. So there we go. Let us know what you think. What a story, by the way. A great tabloid story from my old friends at The Sun. You rang, my lord? There we go. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/your say.
So, what really happened that day in London? Was Harry just looking for a friend? Was it a late-night visit gone wrong? Or is there something darker behind this oddly timed solo visit? We'll never know for sure. But what we do know is this: the public isn't stupid. And when a prince knocks on doors while hiding from the very system he once ruled, people will start asking questions, especially when the story feels more like a Netflix episode than real life. Drop your thoughts. Below, is this just bad logistics? Or is something being covered up?